heading up in the air and heading back to his home state of New York. Certainly not the kind of homecoming that he had ever imagined when he went back from Florida to New York, but he is heading back on a historic flight. Again, not necessarily a part of history that Donald Trump or any former president would want to make, but nonetheless, that is exactly what he is doing.
That wall-to-wall O.J. Simpson-style coverage is courtesy of former President Donald Trump, as he sent every single reporter in America scrambling to try and describe his airplane in a different way. And if you had any doubt that the Trump show is back in full swing, just check out how the weirdos over at Fox describe things.
His plane is getting ready to take off now. They are on the move on the tarmac. And this is what we have been watching for. And we don't know what destiny looks like on the other side of this trip when he gets here in New York City.
Now you may be thinking, destiny is a funny word for the New York County Criminal Courthouse. But remember, this is Fox. And when Fox wasn't busy following every move of Donald Trump's plane, they filled the time with a single, unblinking shot of Trump Tower.
It's such an iconic area. For those of you not familiar with this Midtown Manhattan, building and all around it, the Trump Tower, of course, not only the home of the former president of the United States in New York, he owns the top 3 floors of that penthouse, and an elaborate penthouse at that. It's also the home of the Trump Organization, the business operations, largely real estate of Donald Trump. And of course, iconic in regard of sort of famous programs, The Apprentice, of course, was taped there.
Now you know things are bad when the Republican Party leader is headed to New York to face 34 felony charges, and the best thing that Fox can say is, hey, remember The Apprentice? Yeah, buddy, no one is ever going to forget The Apprentice again. But while the media had all eyes on Donald Trump's plane, Republicans were busy trying to undermine District Attorney Alvin Bragg's investigation, and no one was working harder to keep Trump out of trouble than Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan.
That is, I think, why we have the questions we do and why we've asked Mr. Bragg to sit down with us and answer our questions, and we expect that he will do so. But we'll find out. And what I think is most important, everything is on the table because the American people deserve answers to why a district attorney is doing what I think Kim Strassel in her piece pointed out so clearly, crossing this Rubicon, doing something that has never happened in the history of our great country.
Now, this is your daily reminder that the Delaware Superior Court legally found that Fox News hosts like Maria Bartiromo were knowingly peddling lies. But isn't it interesting that Jim Jordan suddenly believes it's important to comply with a subpoena? That'll come as news to veteran subpoena dodger Jim Jordan. And Jordan wasn't done. He believes Congress has the authority to effectively take over the Manhattan DA's office. Spoiler alert, they don't. And Jim Jordan wasn't too happy when Alvin Bragg told him that in a new letter.
When are you expecting to speak with Alvin Bragg? If he does not come to testify in front of the Judiciary Committee, will you subpoena him?
Everything's on the table, Maria. We're going to talk with the other chairman and look at the response. We just got his letter back. We're reviewing that. But we think that this is... here's, I think, maybe the most important thing. We think this is bigger. This involves all of us.
With Trump finally facing a hint of accountability for his misconduct, Republicans are falling back into a role they know well, the victim. That was certainly the case with Republican Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel, who has an interesting sense of how crime works.
I think Republicans are outraged, rightfully so. We have watched Bragg run for office saying he was going to go after Donald Trump. He's keeping this campaign promise. And we're learning in America the greatest crime you can have is to be a Republican. Whether you're a parent at a PTA meeting, labeled a domestic terrorist, or the former president of the United States, Democrats are going to come after you any way they can.
Yeah, so remember, if you use campaign funds to pay a porn star in an effort to cover up information that may hurt your presidential campaign, the government may be coming for you next. But I'd imagine that's a pretty small pool of people. With Donald Trump facing his day in court, Americans should prepare for the worst. Because if there's one thing we know from experience, it's that Republicans switch from victimhood to violence without a second thought. For now, though, Donald Trump's arraignment on 34 felony counts represents a victory for American institutions. No one is above the law, not even a former president. Republicans used to understand that. Now all that matters is keeping Donald Trump out of jail. If you want to see more Republican antics, check out this video. or click on over to my playlist. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like and consider subscribing. And as always, leave a comment below so you can let me know what I should cover next.